Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the World Stage Arts Education and Performance Gallery, dedicated to seeking light through sound. Enjoy the show.
Of the universe, thank you for stopping by the World Stage. Tonight we have an extraordinary evening planned for you, but before we get started, I'd just like to take a second and for those of us that haven't found out yet, a tall tree has fallen. Durf Redcloth, he's crossed over. So tonight we just want to give a couple of seconds, minutes to just shut down, close our eyes, and let's just give some vibration to his soul, send some love to his family and friends, and of course, all of us. Yes, we will say his name forever, Durf Redcloth. So I want to remind you about our workshops we have on Saturday in the afternoon. From 12 to 1, we have a drum workshop on the trap drum. And from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we have Matilda Haywood with a vocal workshop. Thursday night, we have our jam session. Did I tell you the time for Matilda's workshop? I think I skipped over that. Please forgive me. Matilda's workshop is from 1 to 2. I did say that. 1 to 2 for Matilda. And then Thursday evening, we have our jam session right outside on the patio. That's from 8 o'clock to 11. Small donation of $5. And the band rotates all night, and it's quite exciting. And speaking of exciting, I'm going to move forward and ask you to get yourself together because we won't have a lot of time, so you don't have time to get up and go to the refrigerator or go get your phone. So get your phone, put it on vibrate, put it somewhere close by and relax. And I just want you to inhale and exhale and meditate on some of this mind meditation from this soul that we have here. He has some other beautiful spirits here. I'll let him introduce everyone. But right now, I'd like to introduce to you, and for those that already know this beautiful soul, Jerry Quickly. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you all out there. Really appreciate you joining me from wherever you are in the cyberverse. Wow. Very happy to be here today. My heart is also heavy for the people of the Ukraine, and we're dedicating tonight's show and tonight's performance to the people of the Ukraine. We stand in solidarity with you. We're just going to jump right into this. This first piece is a section of a kind of little experimental opera that I wrote with Philip Glass. This section is called The Bathing Machines. We tried walking on water, but brought our fears with us instead. From the start of the last century, thousands of women were drowned every year. Their swimsuits covering them from head to toe. High cinched collars, long flowing sleeves tightly buttoned at wrists, giant flounce wool, flouncy flannel skirts, and shoes pulling them under, made sure that when their corpses were fetched from the water, their modesty was still intact. Our ancestors would rather drown themselves and the people that they loved instead of chancing the seeing of a woman's naked calf. We believed that the sight of their wet legs walking from the surf, glistening on our beaches, would have been more harmful to us than their corpses. Wait. Wait for a large storm, preferably a hurricane or typhoon. Wait for a large storm and then find a major city, find a tall building, find the 100th floor. You will make your way to the top floor of this building, and as you're there, you will strip naked, press your body against the floor-to-ceiling windows. The sharp cool presses back against you. You are floating now. You cannot see the ground, only the roiling clouds and rain, and the sharp cool of glass presses back against you. You push harder, trying to will yourself through the window. You will feel the floor move and shift, and you will hear the tower howl as it sways in the storm, and you will know that if the wind blew just a little bit harder, and the earth turned just a little bit faster, and gravity lost its focus for just a moment, you could be flung up off this rock, ride a perfect elevator up, spin and slip your way into the heavens, up off this rock. But right now, the water and rain lick and twist and paw at you through a thin sheet of glass, and you not knowing who is watching or recording, and you not really caring who is watching and recording, because soon all of us will have to find our way to the 100th floor in each of our storms. And as we are pressed against the windows begging for release, there is a moment of clarity. We are those drowned women. They have never left. We are the Victorian bathing machines responsible for all this murder. We will leverage our dead through culture and transparency, push and pull ourselves through multiplexers, hull the corn, pour buckets of Vermont maple onto our servers, and wait for ourselves to respond from the other side, will ourselves into pulses of light as we use the same ridiculous amount of bathing suit energy that we used to throw them through the crowning windows of our skyscrapers. Either find new math or suspend the physics. When a small child in Tibet thinks of those drowned women and closes her eyes, drops her head, and prays for those corpses on our old beaches. And the minute prayer and body touch in her mind, penthouse windows are blown out across the world. She prays harder. Death-trap bathing suits fly from those windows and float to earth, twisting and turning the same way they did descending in the water, holding on to their victims for dear life. She prays harder. The top floor of every tower disappears. We are no longer safely tucked inside of the engineer's envelope, but how safe is a broken heart? How safe is it? How can you read its wake, looking for faint digital traces of what used to beat here? This broken thing, this organic thing, this encrypted thing defines and ruins the casting of rune stones and the bond markets. And what is this worth if not my life? What is this worth if not my life? The divide growing, filled with swayed assumptions, pressed between my crisis and broken mirrors. And I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. And I'm finding myself beautifully trapped between my darkness and the son of you. Joining me tonight, I'm very happy to have Mr. Alessandro Levine on keyboards, and also joining us tonight, very happy to have Dakota Barrazo on guitar, pedals, and computer. This is a piece from a record that I made with Bus Driver. This is called Water Dealer. Yeah. I don't want to go back to grade school. I don't want to forsake me or forsake cool. I don't want to stutter, I speak of the good Anglaise. I don't want to hold with this here battle space. I don't want to have a short list. You know what? Fuck the Mississippi, but I miss New Orleans. Fuck a river, but I miss you, New Orleans. Je ne vais pas se perdre, je ne vais pas perdre. I don't want roads or chemical plants. I don't want to see sea warriors reduced to selling crab. I don't want the sun to set or the moon to jet. Don't want to find my fucking heathen's breath. Most important, I don't want anyone to win just yet. Stand on the shore and throw your own bait nets. Don't want you to know what my secret formula really do. Don't want you to know about my basement rooms. That's right, I said, fuck that shit. I do not wish to squash this. Don't want to put a gun to my head and start taking hostages. Many listen to this encryption and don't know who the boss is yet. Donna and Blitzen is waiting for this here drought to set. What if we had us a time machine and used it like the sun? Would we restore nature? Or sell it? Abuse it? And come? Bare feet in the wetlands, mud streaming up between your toes. In the distance, a manatee conducts as Kamasi and Coltrane blows. Butterfly yourself to the sky's principles. Butterfly yourself to the sky's principles. If I let myself dwell, I'd be you, but always crying. Fuck the Hudson, but I miss Coney Island. Fuck the Gowanus, but I miss Coney Island. I miss you, Coney Island. I miss Coney Island. I miss you. I miss you. I miss you. Don't want to throw you on the scrap heap. Don't want you to know how broke is my peeps. Don't want you living in my hood, broadcasting your new inhibitions. I don't want to judge you, but it's tradition. I don't want to judge you, but this is tradition around here. Gentrifying projects into island prisons. Organic juice you can't afford mocks like an incision. On the shore in the distance, floating above the white caps, is a lodestar holding all the styles you wanted to jack. Slips into the Atlantic like a slave committing suicide. On the ocean floor, she that birthed it whispers, do or die, do or die, do or die. I just want to be as uninteresting as you. I just want to be as uninteresting as you. When that happens, all my peeps will have broken through. When that happens, all my peeps will have broken through. Fuck the good on. But Bordeaux, I miss you. Bordeaux, I miss you. 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 This is all sandbars and salt flats, water quarter notes and DNA clawbacks, bonefish, maple eye beam, seaweed, and close quarters combat. Nature is the farmer's market as milk is to Similac. Little fish and big fish shiver in an empty tank. Transitions going from here to the bank. Do you know why? Because a restraining order says a multinational now owns my riverbanks. How are you going to talk about anything? What you going to talk about anything? How are you going to live without anything at all? We are an anomaly at the Day Station Resort. Identified by code word hominy in the cheese grits report. Olympic-sized swimming pools empty but filled with cell phones levitating and vibrating. This is a closed hyperloop and the sun has been cloned. Stand on a pier, the sea carries protocols of lost youth. Fuck Amsterdam, but I miss the Danube. Fuck Amsterdam, but I miss the Danube. I miss you, Danube. I miss you. 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 This next piece is also from the project American Fool. I did with myself and bus driver. This is called Transitions. Gramps is on some, don't take this for granted. This is just like reading and writing, tied to your ancestral land's ends. Made a plan back when, coming round again, the sea plays stones like violins. Just like the cello in the hood plays the role of the Martian. Just like my mellow and the protagonists were stolen. Rearranging your breathing like, sure enough, can't vote, but got a weed card from Toys R Us. Gramps was on some, don't take this for granted. Gramps was on some, don't take this for granted. The thefts are becoming bolder. Feeling alone even though I stand on your shoulders. Zero left is a planned post-revolver. Can't make heads or tails of this geezer's character. Full English with coffee and dismissing my clan like playing cards. We need a time machine, hit up the 1 yards. We need a rhyme machine to go with this here caviar. We need streaming and credit cards. We have thought you can disregard as stationary as a rusted car, flowers sprouting up through the dough, baby's breath pushing up through the flow. You will soon come, Ross blood clot, what for, what for, what for? Blood oranges and Kool-Aid anticoagulants. 78 pages of nothing but fine print. 18-year-old monk rages of Molly, Christ, and absinthe. The best is skewed and viewed through a colored lens. The rest is sleepless with the Benz. This is the horror, it shakes. This is the frame, it breaks. The frequency works to reestablish itself like a mirage. Your 4th grade bully appears, ready to commit violence. Just like that, you were just that small again. Just like that, you drop your pen. Do you want an Uber or a trip to Atlantis? You want to judo flip your shit to higher victim status. Out here on the savannah, these niggas is living large, okay? That's right. We've been out here. We stays out here. I was born in Alaska. I represent for all the dogs, babies. The streets are filled with what's left. And the feelings have been pulled. The streets is empty, jacked by the curfew, lives of plenty, but still holds echoes of our feeling as clear as a lifeboat, as clear as a lifeboat. The streets is empty, jacked by the curfew, but still holds echoes of our feelings. As clear as a lifeboat, as clear as 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 lifeboat, clear as lifeboat, clear as lifeboat, clear as lifeboat, This next piece is also from American Fool. It's called Passengers. Flashback to that moment you left. Flashback to that 479 spliff. Last laughs had by cheap bronze Confederates on banjoed courthouse steps, wearing house niggerish associated ridiculousness. Bona fides delivered by Lyft. 36 human hearts tumble down the stairs. Fully committed, whatever happens here. There's levels to this, but so is breathing free air and a pack of tunnel bears. Help me to tune this 400-foot redwood right here. Help me to spoon these memories right here. So grizzy and poetic. These niggas is calling me the flow bear. My world collapsed when you left me. My world collapsed when you left me. My world collapsed when you left me. My world collapsed when you left me, baby, baby, baby. I came home from Iraq with a passenger. Now, on my wall is bones but no clock, face turning blue without gravity, air, or wall fasteners. Spelling out words from the lands that time forgot. The bones swimming shift on my wall. White birds that flock. Do for self-treaties, sub for ranking wisdom. So do special effects of derelict banking systems. Gleaming cities with nothing but flagship stores. Growing more and more empty. Hearing footsteps fall on marble floors. I can't be in the room with you. Closeness makes me run. I'm just gonna stir some shit up until someone shows up with a gun. Since that's what's up, I'm just gonna ghost you until you come. I'm just gonna roast fools who ain't never done. I'm gonna blow your shit up just for fun. I'm gonna ruin your family's holiday before I run. I'm just gonna roll in the streets until I'm good and done. Who's making the clap? Who got the gun? Ga 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 ga. Who's making the clap? Who got the gun? La 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 la. I never thought you would have left me. I never thought you would have left me. I never thought you would have left me. I never thought you would have left me, baby, baby, baby. The tricky part is not having a body to mourn. I was in love with you before we were born. This rickety ark is stitched together by tissue paper norms. This is not safe for humans to be riding on. We dream of the sun, but baby, we storm-born. We found each other because the earth turned. We found each other using the light of every star that burns, every misbegotten turn, every infinite chance of having missed you. I hear you in the waves, baby. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Baby, baby, baby. This next piece was written really at a couple different times for a composer friend, Johnny Boyd, up in Montreal, and for a haiku project for the city of Los Angeles on the pandemic. It's called Trying to Catch Breath. The whole block trying to catch its breath. The rebellion came, riding a horse named Pandemic. Saddleless hell lions like butcher paper love crayon and love you like Morpheus loves Zion, and chasing our luck through the night till morning, and 17 separate sacred texts called for this dawning end, for this cult calling end, for this knock land shock mauling end. Mauling ourselves through the estates and projects, it's crawling. Tiny screens, crap sound, family bawling. Tiny screen, crap sound, family bawling. Small petty minds, well past exploded. Damned if this is shit I voted. Damned if them statues floated. Cook, let me clear my throat. Selling into flame on paper boats.
Drop dyslexic claims to fame. Holographic same as real game. Burning sage say not the same. Coffee ground say bait the cage, pay the wage. Perpendicular gravity engage. Rotate a single degree each day like proper champagne. All you got to try to do, brother, is maintain. Only in Coltrane's cave. Only on the last days. Only in specific past days. Chasing our luck through the night till the morning end. 17 separate sacred texts called for this dawning end. For this cult calling end. For this knock land shock mauling end. Through the estates and projects it's crawling in. Tiny screens, crap sound, family balling. Tiny screens, crap sound, family balling. When I'm in a crowd and the sun is shining, I think every shadow is yours. Hand in hand, choosing each other, we bridged ourselves forward to safety. The lingering sting of salt on our faces, but we are also lit by the sun. Now we stand in light, survivors on a raft we built from your kindness. We hold you with us now, carry you in our breath now. Safely now, safely now, safely now, safely now. She gripped my hand tightly. She used her eyes to summon her grandchildren. She gripped my hand tightly. We weren't allowed to visit. We weren't allowed to visit. So we surrounded your coffee table, a picket fence of prayer, an uneven collection of brown bodies, clasped hands, praying our ritual over your poetry book in your empty living room. We walk with you now. We carry you with us now. Safely now. Safely now. Last birthday, we danced like mad, alone, in your empty apartment. I'm dancing for you. Alone, in your empty apartment. I'm dancing for you. On my knees, pulling carrots in the garden you grew. This garden is still yours. When I'm in a crowd and the sun is shining, I think every shadow is yours. Through the estates and projects, it's crawling, finding its way in for the morning. Tiny screens, crap sound, family balling. Tiny screens, crap sound, family balling, family balling.
This next piece is for a friend that I lost. And that last piece is really dedicated to everyone who's been touched by the pandemic around the world. This piece is called Unicorn Anais. Thanks again to the World Stage for having us. We're really happy to be here. It's an honor. California has heaved itself 1,000 pounds lighter since you left. Yeah, right. I know. You were barely $1.25. That's when you were here. The rest is the weight of your stars. The rest is the weight of all the wildflowers you touched. That spring we went to the Rincon. We followed them across the tracks down to the waterline, fucking each other blind in the sea. The rest is the weight of an empty passenger seat. 6 of your hairs on the headrest, now holding the weight of 6 gold bars. I still have the yams that you picked at the farmer's market 2 weeks ago. I'm thinking about encasing them in separate lucite blocks like deal announcements on a banker's desk. I will store one. OPSEC and Tradecraft say that I've already said too much about that one. The other I will take with me in a small custom case. It will go on tour with me. It will never leave my side, ever. My little tiny yam in the custom case for you will stay by my side. Your hand-selected, lucite-encased yam will be my quiet companion. It will be present in hotel rooms, on the nightstand, or the sink when I fuck strangers, quietly taking it all in, neutral and cool, like you. But your yam doesn't have a beating heart. It doesn't know my words before I speak them. It will never be my lover or my family. It won't fly with me to New York City and get a suite at the plaza, and it won't take me to the airport when I go to war, and it won't wait for me at the airport when I come home from the zones for a visit. Your lucite-encased yam won't fire me and then forgive me for choosing war over you. The yam you selected at the farmer's market 2 weeks ago won't ever hold me, press the side of its jaw to mine, fight the torque threatening to spin me away, and force me to be still. It will never breathe into my mouth. Your yam has better manners than you. It will never ask my female friends to join us in bed. It will never make secret calls, drive through the night, and surprise me. Your yam will be everything that you are not. It will be well behaved.
It will reject yoga. It will be tacit. It will never find a meadow on a state line or a border and stop to fuck in two places at once. It won't show up at my house after disappearing for a year and not talk and climb into bed for 3 days. It will never slap my shit uncle for being a jerk. It will never ask to sleep on top of me. It will forgive me my work in the war zones. It will forgive me my work in the war zones. It will witness me. It will witness me. You're gone now. In a moment of light. In a swirl of big pharma. In a daffy patch of ignorance, pain, and love. And I will continue to game out every other possible outcome. I don't know how to stop. I will continue to drag this river of memory, searching for your body. Please refrain from dying. We're converting your housing projects and tenements into terraced garden centers for homeless Trump vets, home from Standing Rock, waiting for work in Home Depot parking lots, barking like what's what? Nigger-free Rust Belt, out of town by sunset, or this won't end well. Hang this bell around your neck, that way I know where you are when you're not paying rent. Sweet, sweet, piggy, piggy, piggy. All the salted water that weighs between us, this can't be the knife that breaks us up. Everybody say that not enough. 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 There are 5 men harvesting wood from the bottom of our boat. I tell them to stop. They waive contracts and quotes, ownership clauses of vote. Stand down, I have a right to harvest this wood. Stand down, I have a right to harvest this wood. This can't be it. This can't be the ending. 13 breeding pairs from which we descended, all flights suspended, all rights rescinded, but that not the zones we inhabit. This be dopest firmware ever written. This be where the wave flows and drive lights be spitting. Where my shag and noggin yoga be freestyling with Yoda, hydroplane without me, without these beats, without harvest or further retreat. Hydroplane without me, without these beats, without harvest or further retreat. This is a body. This body is a body of water, a vessel. This body lies on the beach, a note at the water's edge. Portuguese man-o'-wars stretch and trail across the sand like sharp tourniquets pointing to our mistakes. There is no water except the sea. Even the people floating into our ports through satellites, even those TV people, rain just teases the edges of their horizon, at the edges, at the edges, at the edges. Never coming close enough. There is no water except what swallowed our home. I can hear you calling from across the salted waters. Your voice carries this far from a time before. Your paper lips and flat smile were a promise. Your voice carries. You are here with me. You are here with me. I carry you in the spaces between my syllables. I carry you in my silences. Water in a sponge. There will be a last boat. I will leave this waterless place. This is not a place for life now. It is not safe here. We've squeezed it all too hard. I will do whatever I have to. There will be a last boat from this dry place. Some will be left, some will float across the salted waters. All these seasons, all these years, these rivers, these channels, these lagoons, these broads have bound me to you. Even though they are empty and dry now, I remain bound to you. All the distance and all the waters that bind us and keep us from each other. All the daily chances we squandered until they got bored and wandered away. I know that I have failed you. I know that we have failed you. But if we fall just right, and we fall together, and if we do it together with our bodies, becoming smaller and smaller, trading our water for speed, trading our past for whatever comes, looking in the rubble, making flags of ash, houseflies, replacing reef fish. I am sorry that I have failed you. I am going to make this boat. We will sail the salt, rest within each other, find all the water in the world in our frozen embrace. 10,972,800 breaths. I didn't actually count them all, but that's 10 breaths per minute times 762 days. And yes, I counted the days. When the world you want walks away, floats off, and you're fool enough to bless it goodbye, all that's left, these dry, empty coconut shells. The tide cannot stop running from you, carrying her just past the sea foam and breakers. I am a walking blind spot. All I have is periphery. She fills in my sides. She's all I can see, cooing from the edges, floating from just behind every other song, appearing briefly in a stranger's laugh at Heathrow, darting past the far end of the aisle at Trader Joe's, wrapped inside someone else's sigh beneath me. It's been almost 11 million breaths, and each time I inhale, she is refreshed, breathes in me, and each exhale, I pray that this will be the one, the magic breath that banishes her, that unshackles me, the me before her, the ignorant me, whose mouth never slowly exhaled behind her left ear, whose uneducated tongue never traced the hollow of her collarbone, or coaxed rising skin with lazy S-turns pebbling to attention. The air around us snaps, brittle, the mercenary specters that divided us still perched on our shoulders, whispering in our ears straight-jacketed ironies and languages so local even our kingdoms must guess. We must summon grandmother's wisdom to read the grounds in this coffee cup, to posit these bones, to swear this is true, anything to stop us from looking in each other's eyes, anything to keep the air raid horns going, clear the beaches, open the cages, shut off the gas, deny rapture as long as possible, and pick only two things of value. I choose her and my poems and walk to the edge of the water, and I wait. Really want to thank you for having us here tonight. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, at Jerry Quickly on Twitter. And again, I really want to thank my piano player, Mr. Alessandro Levine, and I really want to thank my guitar player and working the computers as well. And that is the one and only Mr. Barroza. Thank you so much, Dakota Barroza. We're going to close out tonight with a song that we are dedicating to the people of the Ukraine. You aren't alone. I know there are certainly moments that it can feel like that, but we're here and we're holding you aloft, and I do believe that
peace will be here sooner rather than later, and certainly my deep hope for the people of Ukraine. This is called Radio Correspondent.
Анумо знову віршувати, звичайне, ніжком. Анумо знову, поки новинку на основі, стареньку Божу ліцювати. А сі річ, як би вам сказати, щоб не збрехавши, а знову людей і долю проклинати.
At 8 years old, I stood on the equator beside anthills that were taller than me in a game park in post-colonial Kenya. Mount Kilimanjaro, its clouds and snow shimmering in the distance as I tried to coax harmony from a goat-skinned drum. Maasai tribespeople had danced in this same place the previous evening, their bare feet stomping dust into low clouds that reddened the sunset by putting little bits of earth into the sky, calling the sky and the night closer to the ground, collapsing the distance between earth and the stars, between the drums and the sun, between prayer and celebration, between Hollis Queens and the snows of Kilimanjaro. My 8-year-old soul never wanted to leave that place. As night fell, a symphony of wildlife flooded my ears. I crawled on top of a small boulder and strained to touch the sky. I wanted to slip the moon beneath my tongue, let constellations trickle down my throat and sing me closer to the universe. But maybe, just maybe, that would be too much to swallow. One day, your heart will abandon you. One day, your tongue will no longer work, and your ears will create their own sounds. Trails will no longer be outside of you. The world is coming apart, and I'm shitting blood in the Palestine Hotel as other Americans liberate Iraq with bombs and murder, photo play. I want to run to my balcony and work, but my system is unraveling. A porcelain throne of blood is beneath me. So much chatter in the sky. So many empty streets now. No more horns bleeding warnings and permissions. So much dead traffic and language. Allah has retreated into the Euphrates as Jesus shepherds cluster bombs home. There are no new ways to describe destruction. All that is new is your fear, blindness, and prayers. Invested in the rubble, commingled with the smoke and licks of flame, and the hearts on the ground and hearts swirling above them in machines are separated by much more than just airspace. The lean wild dogs don't run the banks of the Tigris in the daylight. They stay hidden in the rubble of last night's targets, bombed out buildings, hiding like cicadas in the half-built promises, unfinished construction, shelter and pause before the gravity strikes. At night, they run the banks of the river, crooning, aboriginal, inscrutable, as they sing the air raid sirens awake. Textiles and jet engines make you run to your balcony, break out your camera, and attempt thin and one-dimensional recordings of this city. Baghdad is unstrung. Kiev is unstrung in a corset of sound. Murder and chaos are concussive. They don't just shout in your face. They grab you by the collarbone and blow into it. The tune is so familiar. You want to leave your skin and your body behind. You weak motherfucker. What made you think you could do this? Put down your superficial electronics
and
and be present. The air bends more than it shakes. The air bends more than it breaks. And it will push itself into everyday sounds, car doors closing, dishes breaking, engines backfiring. It will find ways to remain close to you, camouflaged and close, familiar for all your days. This shit hasn't even really begun yet.
Все, да не пропало, минуло все, да не пропало, минуло все, да не пропало, минуло все,
Everything is
да не
lost,
пропало, минуло
but it's
все,
not lost.
да не пропало,
Everything lost, but not lost.
минуло все, да не пропало, минуло все, да не пропало.
Thank you all so much for having us. We're very honored to be here at the world stage. Be kind to each other and try to look out for people you don't love as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for that mind meditation.
Thank you. Really enjoyed
Melanin
it.
induced. Thank you all so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we want to be next week. Keith Fitmont, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be here. Keith Fitmont. So you all want to check it out. 8 o'clock, same channel, same time. Don't be late. And once again, let's give it up for the artist of the night, Jerry Quickly. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, world stage. Thank the audience.
Yes. Good night. Beautiful, y'all.
You really got to be some kind of nut. I can't use it. Trying to make it real compared to what? Come on, yeah. Come on, Nick. Woo!